Hey everybody! I hope y'all are having a great first week of 2024. We're back for another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 32, Reunion Part 1. I heard this thing is 3 parts, but okay. Um, so, first of all, let me just tell everybody who watches this, will watch it, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for all of your support of the channel. Um, for liking the video, subscribing to the channel. If you're watching this, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Also, feel free, to comment. And, just everybody try to be respectful to each other. And also, if there's stuff that y'all know that's on that you want me to review, that too, let me know. Just let me know. And I'll do my best. Also, I made progress with my lesson on apartheid. I know y'all don't care, but I had to tell somebody. Anyway. Okay, so we get this reunion. Everybody's coming in. All right, we get everybody coming in. Carlos gives me, but on a much lesser level, not because of what network he's on, but Carlos is starting to annoy me the way Andy Cohen annoys me. Although I think Carlos has a lot more talent and produces much more entertaining shows and is less just the figurehead face of something and is actually involved with the cast of the shows he produces. So I want to give credit where credit is due. Andy Cohen, I am so tired of seeing his sorry ass, old, graying, needs attention ass. I refuse to believe that his ratings for shows like Watch What Happens Live and stuff like that, and that the people watching Bravo are just so crazed and want him to host everything and be involved in everything. Like, I don't believe that. I believe, yes. Like, to Cat Williams' point earlier this week, once again, because 2024 came in with a bang, there are people who just get favored in Hollywood and who just, for whatever reasons, seem to get by. I'm not saying that that's the case with Carlos, but what I am saying is sometimes people should separate themselves, and we've seen this with people like Shawnee O'Neal. Shawnee was never, and not that I watch these shows anymore. I started rewatching some of that on Netflix. I was like, how was this ever on TV? I was in college, y'all. Forgive me. Anyway, but just sometimes I think it's okay to just be executive producer, produce the show, be there for the cast. Not, just having a YouTube show on top of that after we see your face on the reunion, or we see you pop up here. Like, just give it. Just chill. Like, you already making money. It's just attention. Attention is so addictive for some people. I just want everybody to, get their self-esteem up. Anyway, everybody's coming in. Kimmy, let me just say this to you. Your hair looks cute short too. And I know you like to wear your wigs and your do. And I mean, you would, even before breast cancer. But I just want you to know that your hair is cute short, girl. All right, anyway, so we get everybody coming in. Maurice and Kimmy come in first. And Carlos is making these little jokes. And Maurice, they talking about, oh yeah, I like to see you from behind. I hear you. And Kimmy did not think that was funny. Good, because it wasn't. Then we get Tisha and Marcel. Tisha, your makeup was cute. I actually really like that on you. Whoever did it, keep them. They did a very good job. Her makeup usually is cute, but I'm saying like for the reunion's sake. Then we get Stormy and Courtney, who are matching. Can somebody please, like, the store, like, I don't understand. Can we please just get her some clothes that fit? Like, and the thing is, like, it wouldn't look as, I think Stormy's not, I don't think Stormy's pretty at all. I don't. And she's one of those people that even makeup makes her look bad. And I just think that's just, okay. But why? Why are you stuffing yourself into clothes? It reminds me of watching Cinderella. You remember the cartoon version? Like, if you was born in the 90s? The cartoon version when the stepsisters start trying to force themselves into stuff and it doesn't look right. That's what Stormy reminds me of. But anyway, then we get Martell, who comes out in a too-tight suit like he always does. But he was giving us a little sash, like kind of Lion King on Broadway kind of look. But okay then, / Coming to America. Then we get Mel. Mel, you stay serving. You was giving all kinds of Renaissance, all kinds of Beyonce concert outfit, and I was here for it. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So then we get the start of the reunion. We have to, okay, talk about apparently this Black Business Expo. I hate, I don't like to laugh if I feel like people can, but Tisha, please just stop saying, just don't say it anymore. Just don't say it anymore. So they all get into it because Tisha takes it very personally that she feels like everybody was hating and being negative about the Black Expo. This is our first time. She's very defensive. And let me tell you something about getting too defensive when it is your first time. You have to be careful with that. One, because people are learning what your button is and what's going to trigger you. Two, it screams insecurity. I don't want to acknowledge that maybe something I did was wrong. Three, I do understand how you could feel that way, Tisha, but you was doing too much, okay? She was like, everybody was hating this, that, and the other, and people did say positive things. But in this group, a positive coming out your mouth does not mean a positive received, quite frankly, because some of y'all do be messy. Anyway, so then Carlos brings up the issue with Stormy and Tisha and the copy and paste borrow from her website. And Stormy says, I gave you grace. Tisha is still not apologizing, saying it's not her fault. It was the web designers. Tisha. And Carlos, you up here caping, and by cape I mean, yes, taking your cape like a superhero to protect Tisha. I wasn't here for it. Tisha, I don't like Stormy, but it doesn't matter. You owe her an apology. It doesn't matter how we got there. Just for the sake of her business, for the sake of the fact that you stole the name, or whatever, that's it, stole, took the name and showed up the way it did, just that alone, just give her an I'm sorry, it was a mistake, I appreciate you understanding. Like, to continue to make these excuses, blame it on the web designer and everything, it doesn't matter. When it's your business in your face, you the one that got to take the hit. You just do. And you'd actually win more respect, especially from somebody like me, not that you give a fuck, but if you would just say that. And when Stormy goes, I gave you grace, first of all, the tone in your voice, Stormy, lets me know that you never really gave her grace in the first place. You were trying to say, I spared you from going too hard in on you on social media and on the show. That's what you wanted to say, and that's what you should have said. Because grace, I think we just throwing that word around too much. So yeah. But she was like, no, we know about business, this, that, and the other. Girl, Tisha, you can show people better than you can tell them. Okay? I don't want to hear it. So her and Marceau, Stormy goes back and forth. What else? We get that. All right? Then we move on to Kimmy and Maurice. They play back a lot of this stuff about their sex life, so on and so forth, all the stuff we caught on camera, all the stuff I've told y'all I was completely uncomfortable with, because once again, my mother is still receiving, transfusions that she prepares. She really won't be done with treatments until like mid-June. But I thank God for my mother's life. And because I know how scary that is the second time around, even with breast cancer, and, you just believe in God for it. Because really, it doesn't matter how much money you have or the insurance you have. I mean, really, a lot of times, we talk about grace. We talk about God's grace, okay? To spare you. And that's why I think what happened to Kimmy bothers me. Kimmy is also giving me pick-me energy, okay? Now, when we go through the run-through, there were things Kimmy was clearly not smiling at, and I'm glad. But Carlos does ask her some questions. He was like, it came off to people like he was sexually abusing you. He was forcing himself on you. And the reason why it came off like that is because that is essentially what Maurice said on Carlos's show. And he asked Kimmy how she felt about that. Did she think that was true? And she was just like, no, my sex life is important to me too. Kimmy, I don't doubt that your sex life is important to you. You're a human being. We're all human beings, okay? Who enjoy sex. The point is that you were going through chemotherapy, and yes, the emotional aspects, your libido does decline. But my thing is, when your libido has declined as a result of your cancer treatments, this is a side effect, every time you brought up being worried about it, every time you brought that up, it was always in relation to Maurice's feelings and the way he dismissed the fact of everything you were going through and that this was just psychological in your head, you're making it up. It doesn't look good. And you kind of sounded like, and I could be reaching, and and I'll take that. But it was giving those vibes, those, I hit him first vibes. You know what I mean? So therefore everything after that is okay. Like, it's not cool. And Kimmy, I think you're too smart for it. I think you're in love with him, but I think you're too smart to pretend like you don't know this. And it's just me. Maurice reminds me of this little motherfucker in elementary school that I cannot stand. He had a big waterhead just like that, and he was always like coming at me with like these little negative. I'm talking about fourth and fifth grade, but I still remember. Okay, anyway, something about Maurice just makes me think his breath stinks on a regular basis. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. But I'm just whatever. And then Maurice was like, it was ignorant, and then he kept making it worse because when Kimmy and he asked her, Carlos asked her, have you, were you really faking it those times? She was like, yes. And he was like, should a woman fake it? And Kimmy was like, yeah, they should. And the caveat is just don't tell him. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, that's a drop in the bucket to his self-esteem and ego compared to what he was saying about your hair and how it couldn't blow in the wind, knowing you were going through chemotherapy and trying to keep your life. And he was still fucking insensitive about his fucking sex life. That don't mean shit to me. Get the fuck over it. Grow up. And Maurice sitting there like, oh, you should never fake. You should never fake. Well, Nick, bruh, do better. Do better. Okay? Anyway, so then Carlos asked the question, well, should women fake it? And now we're bringing up faking it male. You said that you never had an orgasm with Martell. Is that true? She was like, yes. Martell was like, that's a lie. That's a lie. I know that for a fact. This, that, and the other. She said, no. I did fake it. I faked it for you the same way you faked you were faithful in our marriage. I said, whoo. Mel said, I came ready, okay? I had my derringers to the left and to the right, and I'm about to blow them off. All right, no pun intended. But boom, boom, psh. All right, anyway. So he was like, no, I know for a fact. That's like, how could you possibly know whether she orgasmed or not? Women do lie about it all the time. They worried about y'all egos. The pain we go through even the first time we have sex. That's pleasurable for y'all. It's not pleasurable for most girls. Unless you've been a horseback rider. But like, you know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of here. So that, and he was like, no. And I'm just sitting up here like, women are attracted to different things. And just like Mel said, she was like, no, if you were nice to me and sweet to me and we were working things out, that affects my libido. Now, if you just being an asshole, that also affects my... That's true for women. That's true. And you, Maya, should have taken some time, Maya. You should have taken time to learn that. Because then you wouldn't have to be walking around in these tight-ass suits, walking around calling Mel a liar with no receipts on everything she said. Your credibility is so shot, Martell, by just lying perpetually. It's sickening. It's sickening. Grow up. Take your hits. When Nell brings up Fletcher's cheating, Fletcher doesn't say, yeah, but you weren't doing this, but you weren't doing that. Fletcher wanted his family. This is what he meant by saying man up. Because you need to. Bad. And quickly. Okay? So miss me with the bullshit. All right? And Mel got you. And I don't care. You want to know why? Because let me tell you something. I will always have a raw spot for Carlos when he sat there in front of Mel barely after their divorce and was asking Martell, was he in love with the side chick in front of her face? I thought that was so insensitive and so rude. So no, I don't give two fucks about the fact that Martell can't make nobody come. And considering the way he can freaking put his penis in them tight ass pants, anyway, moving on. So we get that, right? Stormy is in the dressing room talking to Courtney when they go to take a lunch break, and she is still pissed with Tisha. She didn't like the fact Tisha was lying. She didn't like the fact Tisha was coming with her. She was like, she rehearsed that. She probably did, because we know Tisha don't read like that. But Tisha has been kind of coming out of her shell lately. And I don't know if she's coming out of her shell or if she is just emboldened by TV, because there are a lot of people that seem to come to Tisha's defense. In many ways, like I feel like Carlos was coming to her defense. and when she seems kind of like quote unquote helpless. And I don't think Tisha's that innocent. I really don't. I really don't think she just deals with it differently. All right, so then we get the women. They come out. And, well, all the women, all right, including Marcel, they go back and forth. Carlos asks about him being called a bitch. And he keeps saying in her culture. First of all, I want y'all to cut this out. Okay? Because when you say in her culture, I'm sitting up here like, we all black. What the fuck is you talking about? Okay? Don't try to make this some sort of sub hood culture, because you know that's what he's trying to reference, because she has that deep dialect and stuff. And I have my own feelings about Stormy. No, you're a bitch. Her definition of a bitch isn't any different from mine. Okay? And I don't even like Stormy, and we like here and here. The bottom line is her point about what a bitch is. You fit all of it. I agree. Check. Anyway, so then he's going left, and Carlos is asking him, "Well, are you afraid that Tisha will end up like Tisha looks more like a Tasha. She looks like her name should be Tasha. That's you know what? It's just hit me that I think that would be like she looks like a different kind of name. All this time, maybe that's why I couldn't remember her name. Because really in my head, she seems like her name should be Tasha. Anyway, so they're asking about that, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm scared she'll end up like Mel, single." And that was such a nice nasty read. Like, no, I want my family. I want this and the other. No, you knew what he meant. And he explained what he meant. Are you afraid that she'll end up on her own? I don't know, finding out she doesn't need you. Because many women do feel like, I think many women do get married because they want to. I do think many women have children because they want to. I do think most women love their children regardless. I don't think that's somehow dependent on a man. I can't say that men and their love for their children, their relationship with their children, isn't always dependent on their relationship with the mother, because we've seen too many things to tell us otherwise. Nevertheless, excuse me. Yeah. So then he starts saying. So they bring up the fact that she said she wanted to be a housewife again, and this is where I was trying to give Tisha credit, because I don't. Just as sure as I'm somebody who is very much afraid of the concept of marriage. My parents were married 30 plus years before they got divorced. No, I did not grow up in a single parent home or anything like that. And even if I had, whatever. But I'm telling you what I think. I do think women sacrifice a lot. I know my mom sacrificed a lot, and I appreciate it. But I know a lot of women have a tendency to have to sacrifice more than men. And so that's not something I've chosen to do with my life at this point. What am I saying? I don't think Tisha should be judged for having children, enjoying being a mother, and having enough financial wherewithal between her and Marceau, whether they're pouring out money or not. She wanted to stay home with her kids. She wanted to be a mother to her children. I don't feel like women should be judged for that either. I don't think that's fair. I think it's hard enough to be a woman. I think it's hard enough to raise kids. Like, I look at mothers and I marvel. I really do. I think back to all the things my mother did and I marvel, like, how in the world? Only God. Because it's a lot of work. So I don't think that's fair for them to do that to her either. I don't think that's fair to her. And then Marceau jumps in and ruins it as usual when he says, she said, well, my family judged me, like, you don't depend on a man for this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other. He was like, yeah, a bunch of strong single women whose last name is Rogers. How the fuck did that make it all the way over to Mel? That ain't have shit to do. And I know he was trying to make a joke. It ain't fucking funny as usual. Okay? And my thing is, that ain't have shit to do with what Tisha's saying. There are so many women, and particularly in the South, and I can tell you this, just me growing up. I can speak from my experience in Georgia. The kind of things that women would tell you, my mother included, is that you always keep some money somewhere that's just for you. I don't care how little it is. I don't care how much it is. You always have something on the side just in case something goes bad or something goes wrong. When you're in a marriage or any kind of relationship, you always keep something just for yourself. So she's not the only one that was taught that. To try to shame Mel's motherhood is where the fucking problem comes in. Okay, so as usual, Tisha, while I try to ride and explain for you, your husband fucks it up and creates this tension. And Mel, I got to give it to you because you rattled off the list. You was like, I still do the three day a week mom class. I still make every school play, Christmas play, whatever the case is. And my thing is, women get shamed for working hard, and then if they don't make certain things in school, then they're not a good mother. And I'm sure she resists that. She gave birth to 4 children. And I do think Mel is a great mother. And quite frankly, her children are living the kind of lifestyle they're living because she works hard. Clearly, Martell can't even keep a roof over his own goddamn head. Her kids live that lifestyle because of her. And I know if she was a man, it would be perceived as, oh yeah, she's making these sacrifices for her family. And I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that's cool. And I know women judge each other all the time. And we can say men, judge each other all the time, but don't care. They don't have to because they can put all the pressure on us. And I think in terms of the way we deal with people, we need to understand that people have decisions that they have to make with their lives. And it's okay. I think in Tisha's case, it appears that Tisha has said things, as Mel pointed out, that she had goals and things she wanted to accomplish that she said out loud. And Mel was like, Kimmy, back me up on this or stop me if I'm lying. And Kimmy was just kind of shaking her head, trying to have, not lie, because clearly Mel and her had witnessed this. And also try to have Tisha's back by not attacking her. And I just feel like something has happened in the last 2 seasons where clearly the Scotts got Kimmy to the side and told Kimmy that, look, if you're going to be one of us, you got to rock with us and you got to protect this shit regardless of how you feel. And Kimmy said, okay. That's what it looks like. Okay? So, I think every woman has to make their own decision. I don't think they should be shamed. But then to use it as an opportunity to belittle Mel and all she's been through in the public humiliation is some bullshit. And then when he did that and Mel got his ass together and Mel said, and Marceau, uncross your legs. You sassier than me. And I said, oh, he's sitting there like a whole bitch. Carlos wasn't sitting there like that. And that tight ass suit he had on. Girl. And you deserved every bit of it because you come at women the wrong fucking way. Anyway, so we get that whole fucking back and forth. Yeah, and then Kiki comes out. We get a little taste of that. She's going in. Tisha is, going in on Kiki. They're playing all that shit back when she threw the water in her face. Let me tell you something. Tisha, I just don't understand how you think. Because that passive-aggressive shit that you do and that rude shit that you do, like when Stormy was talking about at the beginning, I knew it was something I was forgetting, popping collars, and you were like, worry about popping them pills. That was some fucked up shit to say. First of all, I don't know exactly what you in your head were referencing, but it was clearly a dig. Maybe it was a dig to the fact that Stormy said she had her best friend had a drug problem and addiction, but she still watches her son. That because somehow she's befriended Kiki, that she must be doing what Kiki once did. That's fucked up. And let me tell you something. And I say this for anybody listening. If there is one thing I know, and I have had to learn the hard way, the easy way, in the sense that my mother always reminded me of this as a kid, and even when I got out of the way in adulthood, life will remind you. Anything, and I do mean anything, can happen to anybody in this life. That is terrible, that sucks, and trust me, getting in the habit of thinking, if that was me, how would I feel? And I know that's hard. This is just y'all listening. When people mistreat you, so on and so forth, and then you just kind of like, oh, fuck it, whatever. Let me tell you something. Be careful how you talk about people. You might look up one day and God forbid, and I really do mean God forbid, one of your kids popping pills. One of your kids go to the wrong party. Snort something, think it's fun. Next thing you know, they got an addiction. Somebody lay down. You lay down with your man, thinking everything's okay. Next thing you know, you picked up an STD. Anything can happen to fucking anybody. And it's not always because they deserve it, because they made a bad decision on purpose. Life happens. And that shit isn't funny. It's not funny to me. It's not. And it's not cute. You knew what you were doing. And you didn't care. And watch yourself, Tisha, because life comes for all of us, even when we don't deserve it. So if I was you, I'd slow my roll a bit with that. You got me up here taking up a Stormy, and I don't even like her. But that ain't the point. So Kiki comes out and they replaying all the footage when she threw that water in her face. She threw that water in her face because y'all were rude, y'all were ignoring her. And I remember reading something when I was reading on socialization of black girls in schools, things like that. And they were talking about, teachers and white teachers particularly in their relationships with black girls. And they were explaining, like to be ignored is traumatic. This is a sociologist was explaining. And it's a form of trauma to the brain. Now, I'm not saying that's why Kiki threw that water in her face, but to treat somebody like that is some bullshit. And then you almost got your whole ass whooped and you still talking shit. Maybe because you on the opposite side of the room and you feel like production's going to protect you. But I'm just not here for I know I'm sweating, y'all, right now because I'm trying to keep... my apartment is overheated because it's like snowing. I know it's like snow raining. And I know with my luck, of course, it'll stop in time for school. Y'all think y'all's kids be ready to have a snow day. They don't know me. They don't know their teachers. Trust me, your teachers be sitting around just like this. Anyway, and so she's talking about they cheat on each other, they do this, that, and the other. We don't know what the case is. But whatever it is, Tisha, I'm over you and I'm over Marceau. And I'm also over the fact they want to make this reunion 3 parts. This shit has gone on too long. Where is Kristen now? They honestly carried the season. But anyway, that's just me. Y'all be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to y'all soon. I'll see y'all tomorrow for Potomac. Yeah. And have a great rest of your night. Bye.